Hey everyone, it's Michelle. I am back to show you something that I learned how to do just today. I watch a YouTuber. Her name is Gayle Agostinelli or Agostinelli. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, and I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not going to try too hard, but she makes all kinds of great junk journals. She makes ephemera. She does a lot of collage cards and just all kinds of great things. She's got hundreds of tutorials and videos, and she just makes the cutest and prettiest things. So I wanted to show you and share with you these little envelopes that she makes out of book pages. And it's the simplest thing, and with all of the book pages that I have acquired since I tore this book apart to make my journal, this book, these pages, I wanted to kind of come on and I wanted to come on and show you how she does this. And these are just adorable. It's just a book page that's folded and glued to make little pockets to add to your journal. So I made this one this morning, and I'm not sure I'm going to use this. This was more of a practice than anything. I took a piece of fabric and kind of frayed the edges a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but they are frayed. And I added a little bit of jute twine to it, and I distressed it with my distress ink, and I just thought it was really cute. So let's make one together, and then maybe this would be something that you could add to your journals. I know I'm going to add these to my journal. And yeah, so let's get started, shall we? So I already tore a page out of the book, and I'm just going to trim up the edge just a little bit. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just like go right along the outside and trim off this rough edge. Although I'm sure the rough edge would be really cute, but right now I'm not feeling cute. I worked all day and I got home, and I actually just did film a video of my most recent thrift store haul, and I hope you'll watch that video because I found some awesome stuff. I spent a little more than I wanted to, but at the same time, you just never know what you're gonna find when you go in the thrift stores. So you have to go in there with an open mind and sometimes an open wallet. I spent about $17 and change, but what I got was phenomenal. So watch that video. I'll put a link somewhere so that you can see it. It'll either be down in the comments or at the end of the video there will be a link. I still haven't quite figured out how to add links mid-video, but I'll get there. You guys will work with me, I know. So anyway, basically all she does is she takes the top and just folds them down, kind of like you're making a paper airplane. And if it doesn't fold evenly, don't worry about it. This is your creation. You do it the way you want to. And I think I got this one even. Whoa, go girl. You know where it's at. And this actual page is from this book. It was Essays by Eliot. And on this page, it's titled The Wasp Credited with Honey. And so because this is a journal about bugs and insects, the wasp part is going to be on the inside, so it'll actually be in there, so you'll actually see it when you open it. So like I said, you fold the top into a triangle, kind of like you're going to start making a paper airplane, and then you bring the bottom up and meet it with where these are folded down. So just like that, you just fold it right there, get it as even as you can. Fold, super simple, right? This paper though is very delicate and very thin, so I used my glue stick. Let me find something to put under so I don't get glue all over my table. So I've got this old cardstock. I hate this cardstock, so I can use this to glue on. It's perfect. So I'm going to use my glue stick on the top and on the sides because this glue is thick and it's going to leave like a bump or a ridge. So I'm not going to use this one on this delicate paper. I'm just going to use my good old Elmer's Craft Bond glue stick. So I'm going to get a lot of glue on here and do it very generously so that it's sure to stick. And I'm only going to put glue on the fold over part. I'm not going to put it on the bottom part because it'll stick if I get enough glue. One thing I've noticed about this particular glue stick though is on the thicker papers, it doesn't adhere very well. So I need to find one of those really good glue sticks that the other junk journalers used. I think it's called Yoo-Hoo or something. Not sure exactly. I haven't seen it in my craft store. I've been going to Michael's a lot. I don't buy much in there because obviously I can't get the deals that I find when I go in the thrift store. But as far as glue is concerned, I try to go in there when I can and see if they have anything new. And they don't I don't think that store that I go in, that particular Michael's, carries it because I've not seen it. So I'm going to keep looking. If any of you know where to find that glue stick, let me know in the comments. I would love to at least try it out. I got these glue sticks at Walmart. They were for $3 or $4 for like 4 of them. So I have a lot of these and I will use them up on this delicate paper, but on the thicker paper it doesn't adhere so well. And like if you don't get it perfectly on the edges, you have to lift it up and try again. And yeah, I like it to stick the first time, so I'm not having good luck and I'm not real patient with this glue. So yeah, so just like that, stick it down, right? So we're halfway there, guys. And then you just take it along the edge, and I'm only going to come in maybe 1/4 of an inch on the edge, just on the very edge, because I want to make a little pocket or a little envelope, and we don't want to seal the whole thing. So just very generously add the glue and it'll stick. Just have to be patient with it, like I said. And I go like this and this. And then I want to make sure that I get a good fold over the top like this. And voila, an envelope. Little pocket. Oh, let's get in the frame, Michelle. Where are we? There we go. Aha, there I am. So now it's pretty much good to go. I did notice, and I noticed it on the other one too, I don't think I trimmed it very evenly when I trimmed the one side. So I do have a little bit of overlap. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just very gently and very quickly trim that off, because I don't want that edge on the outside. And if I can see to do it, I'll just trim it off. Just like that. Gone. Done. Okay, so now I can take my distress ink and just ink this up and make it look a little aged, because if you can tell on this one it's quite aged looking versus this one where it's not. Even though this is an old book, the pages aren't very aged. They are a little bit, but they're just so thin and delicate. I don't want to stress the paper out too much. So what I did on this other one is I just took my antique linen and I went over the whole thing, front, back, inside, outside, all of it. And it's probably easier just to go like that and just give it that nice little aged look. Just like this. Pretty easy. Like I said in a couple videos back, I hadn't had the opportunity to work with distress ink before, and I was using regular rubber stamp ink to do some distressing on some of my pages of my journal, and I didn't realize that the consistency between the two was going to be so different. This is so much lighter. It's I don't want to say it's waterier, but it's not a thick ink. It's just very, very thin, very demure, I guess. And you can be generous or light with it. It really doesn't matter. These pummeling tools are great. I had never had one before, and I really, really like it. It's easy to use. Once you get the hang of it, it's not hard at all. And I hadn't done this before, like I said, so getting used to it was the hardest part for me. But once I got the hang of it, super easy. So I just kind of covered over that, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. And you know, I can go as heavy or as light as I want. I'm not doing this in any sort of pattern or way. I'm just as I see it, oh, see, now that's what I was worried about, is this paper is so thin, it's very easy to catch and bend. But once I get everything on here, it'll be okay. I'm not worried about it. It's kind of like that whole thing I was talking about a while back in another video. This is art. Art is not perfect. It's, you know, it's whatever you envision or whatever you see, you do it. And I didn't get enough glue, or if I did get enough glue, I tore it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more glue on there and just tighten that puppy up, just like that. And hopefully it stays. Because you just never know, right? Oh my goodness. So basically this is all I'm doing, is I'm just inking this up to give it some aged texture. And then I'm also going to go over it with one of the darker colors. I have the walnut stain, and I also have vintage photo. I'm going to do the outside edge, and I'm also going to just kind of add one of the tints on top of the antique linen. And I don't know if you guys have ever taken an art class or watched any crafting shows. Like back in the 90s, crafting shows were really popular. And when I was a stay-at-home mom, when my kids were down for a nap, I would turn those crafting shows on and it would just like suck me in. That was what I lived for. Besides being a mom and taking care of my kids, I lived for crafting. So I learned a lot. And one thing that I learned, and it seems like it could very well be pretty common sense, but a lot of people may not know, you can always add dark, but you can't add light. So if you add the light, if you put the light colors on first as your base, then add your dark, you'll have better luck. You can't go back over the dark with the light. That's, you know, like I said, it's common sense, but the rule of thumb is use your light colors first and then go back in and add your dark. So I'm going to take the walnut, and I had bought one of these cool little makeup sponges at a Walmart, and I didn't pay very much for it. I paid a couple bucks. And it took me a few minutes or a couple of tries to get used to how this works too. But I love it. It's great. Gayle has one of these, and when I saw her with it, I was like, ooh, where do I get one of those? Well, I started looking at like Target, and they don't have any cheap ones. The cheapest one they had was like $7. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to buy it at Target. So I went to the dollar store, or I went to $1 store, and they didn't have anything like it. And so I wound up at Walmart, and they had one for like $2. So I grabbed this one. But then I was in another dollar store last week, and they have them for $1. They're a little bit different shape. They actually have like a little indent here for better ease of handling. And so I thought, you know, I might have to come back and get some of these. And it's not the dollar store I shop in regularly, but it's closer to my house. So I think the next time I'm over in that part of town, I will grab another one. And you know, I don't have to ink this as much as I am on the back, because if I glue this into my journal, it's like, here, I'll show you. It's like, who's gonna see the back of it, right? But it makes for a nice little pocket, and you can do it, you know, like this, however you want. So I'm going to finish inking that real quick. I'm going to do the vintage photo on the outer edge, and you'll see what it does in just a second. It's going to give it that aged texture right along the edge. This distress ink is just an amazing invention. I'm so glad that I've been watching the ladies on the YouTube videos and how they use it, and I think that I've actually not mastered, but I've figured out how to use this particular tool to get the edges inked, because the first time I was just very heavy-handed and I didn't quite grasp how to ink edges without getting it all on the far, gosh, I can't even think, like not just on the edge, like getting it farther in than I really wanted to. it doesn't really take too much practice, but it does take a little practice, and you have to be very gentle as opposed to heavy-handed. And I'm one of those girls, I'm very heavy-handed with everything. I rake the hairbrush through my hair, and you know, I'm not a dainty, petite little thing. I mean, I'm not a large person, but I'm not dainty by any means. And you know, I had sons. I raised boys, so I'm a boy mom. Things are a little bit rougher for me around the edges, but crafting is still something that I absolutely love to do. And you know, if you don't have enough ink on here, you just go back and add a little bit more. It's just your personal preference. And if you want to do like in here, you can do in here, because you know, why not, right? It's your creation. Do it the way you want to do it. And if you want to do it up here too, you can, because the more ink you have around the edges, the older it looks. And I think I made this look pretty grungy and old, if I do say so myself. So there's that part of it. It's real easy. I had no idea before I saw that video this morning that this could be so simple. So I've got it all inked, and now what I need to do is I need to figure out how to create some sort of closure. And what Gayle did in her video was she took a piece of fabric and she took, I think she took a piece of paper or something and glued it to the fabric before she actually glued the whole thing down to create like a closure. But me, I got a little ahead of myself, and I was just anxious to just see what it would look like finished. So I don't know if I really like this one. I'm probably going to not use this particular one. This was basically, like I said, just my practice envelope, pocket, whatever you want to call it. So for a first try, I don't think it's too bad, but I'm not sure I'm in love with what I did here. So for this one, I'm going to figure out something else to create a closure, or I might just use a sticker. I haven't quite decided yet, and since I worked all day and I'm just now coming home and trying to get myself together, I'll figure out something to create a closure, and I'll let you know what that is. But I also had another book that I made a pocket from. I actually came home on my lunch and made this one. This came from a different book. The pages are much thicker, so I did use the 3-in-1 glue on this one. And when I folded it over a little bit too far, but it's okay because it just adds character. And this is from that book that was from Norway. This is all in a foreign language, Norwegian or something, and I don't understand any of it, but it looks pretty cool. And I took a pair of paper edging scissors and cut the point, because what had happened was the point stuck way down here. So I didn't want that, so I figured I'd just make something different. And now I have to ink this one up too and complete this. But I wanted to just show you how quick and easy making a pocket is for your journal. And I haven't really gotten too far with adding ephemera and all the little goodies that go inside a journal, but I did do one pocket last week. I was playing around. I was kind of thinking, okay, what can I do just to add a little bit of dimension and stuff? So on the page in here that I have the insect definition from the dictionary page, I took a piece of cardstock and I just cut it out so that it would be rounded, and I distress inked it. I added those little bee things that came off of the string that I had originally tied on one of the signatures when I first did them, and I messed them up. And I made a little tuck spot, and I just added this little piece of folded paper and just stuck it in here for the time being. Not quite sure if I'm done with this page, but I just wanted to show you what I added so far. And there's also another page in here that I didn't remember that I had put stuff on. I'll find it and I'll show it to you real quick, and then I'll just I'll tighten this video up for the day. But I had taken and made like a collage paper in here, and then I just added a piece of lined paper for me to write something in here, maybe a little note or just a memory or something, and I can add anything I want, pictures or whatever. But there's a lot of pages in here that I have to put stuff on. So this is going to be a progressive effort on my part to try to get different things in here and where I want to place them. And I was feeling a little punchy one night, so I decided I would write on the very first page where it says be kind. I wrote, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. So I will leave you with that. I hope you liked this video tutorial on how to create these cute little pocket envelopes, and when we come back next time, I will figure out some cool ways to add closures to them, because like I said, I don't really like this one, but I want to do something cool so that it will look really cute in my journal. So until next time, friends, this is Michelle. If you like the content, I hope you will like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will be making my decision on whether or not I'm going to just rebrand this channel or if I'm going to create a new one. I still haven't put much thought in it. It's been quite crazy and chaotic, and we just came off of winter break at work, so I'm getting back to normal and trying to get back into a regular routine again. So once I have that nailed down, I should be able to wrap my head around this whole endeavor. So for now, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed everything we've done today, and I look forward to talking with you again in the next video. Bye now.